thought you were the heir apparent at Rice, or even if Augie Garrido left Texas. And so what made this the opportunity for you to finally jump at?
Tulane's is such a great university, and people have asked me that a lot, but my ultimate goal is to be at the highest level of Division I baseball, and Tulane is that. I love the fact that they're going to the American Athletic Conference. I love the type of university, the prestigious private school. I've got such a background. I didn't only coach there for 9 years. Both of my kids went to private school. I coached in private school and high schools, so I'm very comfortable in this environment. I think we've got great young talent, and our expectations are really to take off right away.
Talk about expectations. This is the leanest time for Tulane. They haven't been to a NCAA regional since 2008, the longest stretch since before Rick Jones there. Do you expect to get right back in it next year? Is that what the goal is, to start winning right away and maybe, contend for titles and all that?
There's no doubt. I mean, our goal is to get prepared to start going right now. I think the foundation is always recruiting, but I think development is as important, if sometimes not as much. But the development has to happen, and there's guys in place, and we've just got to bust our tails to get them ready.
How important were the insurances you got? Because, private universities now, with the scholarship limitations and the expenses, with the assurances that you got from the university committing to baseball, how important was that for you?
Well, I'll tell you this, that's something that's ongoing in all private schools, and trying to really formulate it to be best for all student athletes. Baseball happens to be an unfortunate sport when it comes to the amount of scholarships offered, so you have to be creative. We won a national championship before we ever even had need-based financial aid, so that was not really a factor. That was something that we're trying to get in place and try to move forward to make it a little more feasible for all of our student athletes. But truthfully, we've won a national championship before we ever had that stuff intact.
Obviously, you have inroads into Texas, spending your whole life in the Houston area. How soon will you kind of reach out to coaches here and people here to start recruiting more heavily in this state?
Well, right away, and also Coach Allen, one of my assistants, was at FIU for 4 years after leaving Houston and then back with me at Sam Houston State. So he has a great knowledge of Florida. Philip Miller, my other assistant, is from the state of Louisiana. We recruit and been playing in our Southland Conference in a lot of the small towns in southeastern Nichols and those areas. So we're familiar with Louisiana. And I think what you have to do is attack those kids from within. You want to start with those guys that are here, that are available, and start there and then work out nationally.
So the $62,000 price tag doesn't worry you, Coach? You don't think it'll be an issue as far as getting the type of players you want in here?
I think it would worry any parent, but as far as recruiting, we'll do everything we can to utilize the Merit Scholar and to try to get the financial aid as in place as possible. But no, that doesn't concern me.
Was that a big part of your discussions here or not?
No, sir, it wasn't.
It wasn't a big deal to you?
No, it was not.
So what do you think needs to be done here as far as getting it to where, I know it was mentioned earlier, the NCAA tournament, you really think player development is that big, right?
Well, right now, it's always recruiting, and everything's pushed towards recruiting. But I think you can get a lot more out of development than most people give that part of the game credit. My days at Rice University, everybody thought we got every player we wanted, and that's not the case. So our development took place on a daily basis. And the great thing here is there's players intact, and I think we can reach out to them.
Tulane's biggest rival is LSU. Luckily, you coached at Baton Rouge last year, so you already have a good feel of LSU and what it's about there. You talk about going up against one of your biggest rivals and already gotten to play against them before.
Oh, they're outstanding. They're a great program, and Coach Maneri does a great job, and they've got great players and a great fan base. And honestly, our kids have always enjoyed playing in those environments. LSU won't be any different. We played there, and there was 12,000 people there last year in the regional. So we'll be prepared for that, and we look forward to the challenge of that.
Did they ask for any assurances? Did you give them any assurances that if Wayne Graham retires next year, or if Augie Garrido goes away next year, that this won't be a one-and-done deal for you?
Look, I've never been a dependent of anyone, including Coach Graham, and I love him like a dad. But when I made the decision to come to Tulane, that was my decision to be committed to this university.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.